Don't call it the Cuban Missile Crisis. Even that didn't end as badly as this one did. Mark Cuban recently promoted a crypto that has now blown up in his face, thanks to some degenerate crypto farming. The coin is called Titan. It went from $4 to $60 inside of a week, and then immediately crashed to less than a penny in a few hours. Mark Cuban, in response, tweeted this: "I got hit like everyone else. Crazy part is I got out, thought they were increasing their TVL enough. Then bam, more like boom." Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to DeFi. Now, in the aftermath, people lost millions, maybe more. Memes are being made to memorialize the event. And Mark Cuban is curiously suddenly calling for a stablecoin regulation. He says in a statement to Bloomberg, there should be regulation to define what a stablecoin is and what collateralization is acceptable. You know, I obviously agree with this idea of stablecoin regulation, but I gotta admit, losing all your money and then calling for regulation, it's a bit like trying to ban gambling right after you got cleaned out in Vegas. I mean, you might be right. Bad timing. That's all I'm gonna say. But honestly, I think this is a good time to talk to all you degenerates out there, okay? Trying to yield farm your way to the moon. Now look, we've all been there. You got that stimmy check and you're looking at index fund returns. The S&P might get you 8 to 12% a year if you're lucky. Cash is trash. You can't keep it in fiat. So then you look at crypto. Boom, 100% gains, baby. Over here, 12,000% gains. Guys, crypto is a whole new level of risk reward that the world is really still getting exposed to and used to. It's just gains are ratcheted up, and so are losses, though, to be honest. People don't even open up Binance or KuCoin for anything less than 200% APY, and it's got y'all all kinds of messed up, okay? Even people like Mark Cuban. Like, here's a guy who goes up on Shark Tank, and he's buttoned up, right? He's asking questions you'd expect from a millionaire. You know, what's your cash flow? Who are your competitors? What's your projected growth? You know, in other words, he's a rational businessman. He's been around the block. But apparently, when Mark goes home, gets in front of that MacBook, starts checking out these DeFi projects, this man becomes a filthy degenerate. These were the kinds of yields Mark was looking at. Here's a liquidity pool promising 347% APY. Here's another one promising 133,000% APY. And here's another one offering, you know, just a low 4 billion% APY if you put money with them. Now, if you're thinking, there's no way Mark Cuban would be, you know, taken in by such ridiculous returns, right? Clearly, these are scams. Well, you'd actually be right. He didn't go in for the 4 billion% or even the 300%. Instead, according to the blog where he shilled this coin called Titan, he said he got an annualized return of about 206%, guys. Don't worry, we're not talking about anything crazy here. Just 206% on his money per year. Now, this is completely nuts. So today, we're going to break down what went wrong with the crypto Mark promoted in this blog post that he posted only a few days ago. It's called The Brilliance of Yield Farming, Liquidity Providing, and Valuing Crypto Projects, June 13th. In this post, he describes the degenerate behavior, but the token we're going to talk specifically about where he lost the money is called Titan. But it's actually part of a two-token system that makes up an algorithmic stablecoin called Iron. The two tokens are Iron and Titan. They both collapsed. Now, you should already be familiar with the concept of stablecoins from our Tether video. Remember that collateral is the thing backing the token. So, like, let's say I give you a token that's supposed to be worth $1. My collateral could be like $1 that I hold in reserve, right? Instead of that, Titan admits that it's only partially collateralized and uses algorithmic minting and burning protocols to maintain a soft peg to the dollar. Now, if you're already bored to tears like I am, I'm just going to put this on screen for you to read from them. This is how the Iron Titan token works. Now, while you read this and try to parse out what this says, let me just tell you the obvious. Even the basics of this are very complex, which is something I should have addressed a long time ago, but I might as well address now. I'm going to say this once. Extreme complexity in finance is bad, okay? As an investor, it really is anyone. You should avoid them. Why? Because the less you understand something, ladies and gentlemen, the more you can misunderstand the risks, okay? Like, Imagine investing is like whitewater rafting. It's a rewarding, dangerous activity with twists and turns. But if you know where the rocks are, you can be safe. You can avoid some of the pitfalls. It's always going to have a level of danger, but if you know what's going on in the river, you're going to be fine. But imagine you go in completely blind. You don't know where anything is. You don't know the river layout. You're going to wash up on the rocks, bleeding, wondering what happened. This is the case with investing. If you do not understand something in investing, you're gonna smash into those rocks and it's gonna be a problem. This is why Warren Buffett frequently says that he doesn't invest in a lot of companies. It's not because he thinks they're bad, it's because he doesn't fully understand them, according to him. By the way, not only is it true that complicated financial schemes can hide fraud, it's also true that just because you didn't fully understand it, things can get out of balance. This is actually what happened in the 2008 financial crash. Subprime lending led to MBSs and then CDOs, which all confused and obfuscated the fact that the system was broken and people were still continuing to lend loans they should have never lent. Had things been more clear, this might not have been a problem. And so the same thing applies to crypto. If you don't understand these tokens, please do not invest in them. So where does that leave us with the Iron Titan token? The token actually was only the beginning of the problem. Mark Cuban was also engaging in something called yield farming through something called QuickSwap. It's just like more degenerate, okay? According to a blog where he promoted Titan a few days before the collapse, he said, quote, "I'm a small LP for QuickSwap. I provide two different tokens, DAI and Titan, that enable QuickSwap to offer swaps between these two tokens." So now, not only are you dealing with sort of a shaky algo stablecoin, add a little bit of DeFi yield farming to the mix, and ladies and gentlemen, we have a recipe for disaster. Even Mark Cuban admits he didn't do his due diligence on this before writing his blog post about it. He says, "Even though I got rugged on this, it's really on me for being lazy. The thing about DeFi is that it's all about revenue and math, and I was too lazy to do the math to determine what the key metrics were." Which all leads us to June 16th, only days after Mark Cuban writes this about Titan and drew tons of new investors to the project. And literally one day after Iron.Finance, the people who create these little coins, itself had claimed that Titan was a bear-proof asset. Oh, the sweet irony of saying we're unstoppable. It's like being on the Titanic.
But this ship can't sink.
So anyways, on June 16th, not to rub it in, the unthinkable happened. A few people start selling Titan, and it led to everyone trying to run for the door at the same time. When that happened, Titan collapsed to zero, along with Iron as well. People really hadn't considered that maybe what made Titan make so much money on the way up would also make it crash just as hard, as a post on Reddit would explain best. This is how the protocol was designed. Positive feedback loop on the way up, negative feedback loop on the way down. Boring technical jargon in the middle, and then it says, this creates both massive deflation and massive inflation, depending on which way the supply-demand is going. It seems that this bear-proof asset hadn't considered the idea that maybe their math wasn't as solid as they thought. Well, millions of people lost all of their investment, or most of it. Ironically, Mark may have actually been one of the few people who saved some of his money from disaster, because in his response, he had said, "I got hit like everybody else. Crazy part is I got out. Thought they were increasing their TVL enough." Here, I think he's referring to the fact that he got out of the DeFi yield farming, but was still holding some of the Titan, which went to zero. Some clearly didn't get out at all, such as this post from Reddit. He says, "What the hell happened? I put $23,000 today on Matic Titan LP token for 1 billion% APR this morning, and this was so trash. I went down from 23K to 67 cents. How does your coin drop from $60 down to zero? You better fix this soon." Yeah, this really happened to this person. I don't know how you help them. I don't know how you explain to people that 1 billion% APR is automatically going to be a scam. I think it can be answered using a comment I got on Twitter. This is in response to everything collapsing. It says, "Well, even Mark Cuban got rugged. Pretty normal in DeFi. It's risky, but you can make insane money with Ponzi's." Now, I don't know exactly when we all stopped thinking Ponzi schemes were bad, but I feel like there's this new logic that maybe I should give an obligatory bad idea to. which is that people think, if only I get in on the ground floor. Oh, it's a Ponzi, sure, but if I just get in on the ground floor, it'll be fine.
If it is a Ponzi, get in on the ground floor. To the moon.
Like, this is obviously pure nonsense. And for the health of your bank account, stay away from anybody who tells you this. Meanwhile, the lovely team over at Iron Finance, the people behind this whole thing, they're ready to push another one of their stable coins. They say in response to this giant collapse, quote, "We have learned a great deal from the incident, and while there was nothing that could be fixed in the current system, we will continue our journey with more products in the future." These guys don't even say sorry. You can control F sorry in their post-mortem. They don't care. They don't care about wrecking you guys. They go, hey, we're going to start a new one like tomorrow. Total clowns. And I would say no one's going to trust these people again, but honestly, crypto is the perfect place for criminals to launch new careers. Off topic, guys. Anyone hear about that new Brian Rose DeFi? Anyways, that's kind of besides the point. I just hope this serves as a cautionary tale. Listen, Titan was $1 billion token. That's $1 billion of value that was just blinked out of existence. And, for those of you who are looking for those mouth-watering yields, it's a good lesson that always the old saying turns out to be true in the long run. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Oh, yeah, and also remember, it might be fun to play high-stakes poker, at the big boy table. But if you don't got it like that, don't bother, right? When Mark Cuban loses his investment, in Titan, it doesn't matter. Not to judge, most of y'all don't have flying Lamborghinis in my audience. You got to play a different hand. When you get wiped out, it's a much bigger deal. So unless you have a flying Lambo, I banish you from investing in things you don't understand. Please, guys, be safe out there. Keep your money safe. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Hey, you took my money away. You said that it was safe, but I'm robbed and I don't feel okay. I trusted you. You said that it was alright. Now I'm broke and my wallet's real light.